The king hunt begins immediately.
25. White rook delivers check on e7.
Brutal. This rook is absolute poison. Look what happens if black takes it.
Okay, let's dive right in. So first move, Kasparov plays white pawn, moves to e4.
Pretty standard opening move. King's pawn.
But Topalov immediately throws a wrench in the works. 1. Black pawn moves to d6.
The Pirc Defense.
Yeah.
Right away, Topalov is saying, okay, Gary, let's get out of your main preparation. Let's have a complex fight.
Yeah, pulling him onto his own turf. So what happens next? The opening moves tend to come quick.
They do. Let's run through them. 2. White pawn moves to d4.
Standard central control. 2. Black knight moves to f6.
Developing, hitting the e4 pawn.
3. White knight moves to c3, defending.
3. Black pawn moves to g6. Preparing to fianchetto the bishop.
Right, the typical Pirc modern setup. 4. White bishop moves to e3.
Supporting the center, eyeing the queen side.
4. Black bishop moves to g7. That long diagonal opens up.
Yep. 5. White queen moves to d2. Connecting the rooks, preparing for long castling, maybe?
Looks like it. 5. Black pawn moves to c6. Bolstering d5, but delaying castling, making white show his hand a bit.
Exactly. Topalov's being cagey.
6. White pawn moves to f3, building a strong pawn center, preparing g4 perhaps.
Very solid.
6.
Black moves to bd7. Development continues.
7. White knight moves to e2. A slightly unusual square, maybe heading to g3.
Or maybe supporting a future pawn push. Keeps options open.
Yeah.
7. Black moves to b5. Queenside expansion begins.
The start of the counterplay. 8. White bishop moves to h6, offering a trade.
This is interesting. He wants to get rid of black's dark squared bishop, which is often strong in the Pirc.
Yeah.
Black bishop captures on h6.
Topalov takes it. 9. White queen captures on h6.
And there it is. Kasparov's queen is way up the board on h6. It's aggressive, but also maybe a little exposed. It's definitely sharp.
He's signaling his attacking intentions early.
Yeah.
Okay, 9. Black bishop moves to b7, developing the last minor piece.
Right. Now the position is really taking shape.
10. White pawn moves to a3. What's that about?
That's prophylaxis. Stopping black from playing knight or pawn to b4, securing the queenside a little before things get messy. Smart.
Okay. 10. Black pawn moves to e5. A central pawn push, opening things up.
A key break. Now the center is becoming contested.
11. White king castles long.
Oh.
As expected.
King goes to c1, rook comes to d1, setting up for the attack.
11. Black queen moves to e7, connecting rooks, preparing to castle long too.
Makes sense. 12. White king moves to b1, kb1.
Just tucking the king away, getting off the semi-open c-file.
Exactly. Kasparov's making sure his king is as safe as possible before the coming storm. Very common prophylactic move in these structures.
12. Black pawn moves to a6, mirroring white's earlier a3.
Sort of, yeah. Preparing by 5 or just securing the structure.
13. White knight moves to c1. Seems passive. Where's it going?
It's actually heading towards b3 or maybe d3 to support the center or pressure black's queenside. A regrouping maneuver.
Gotcha. 13. Black king castles long. Oh.
And there we have it. Both kings cast.
The race is officially on now. It's going to be an attack on both wings.
Absolutely. This is where the real strategic battle begins. Who can break through first?
So moving to the next phase, Topalov seems eager to open lines against the white king.
He does. Kasparov plays 14. White knight moves to b3 as anticipated.
Okay, putting pressure on c5. 14,
Sure.
Black pawn captures on d4. Wow, xd4.
Topalov strikes first in the center. He's opening the e-file, opening diagonals. It's a bold decision. He thinks he can handle the complications.
Seems risky, but maybe necessary. 15, White rook captures on d4, recapturing with the rook.
Centralizing the rook, keeping an eye on things.
15, Black pawn moves to c5, gaining space on the queen side, attacking the rook.
Forces the rook to move. 16, White rook moves back to d1, rdd1.
Okay, keeping the central presence. 16, Black knight moves to b6, aiming for c4 or supporting d5.
Both, potentially, putting pressure on White's queenside.
17, White pawn moves to g3, maybe preparing bh3.
Solidifying the kingside slightly. 17, Black king moves to b8.
Getting the king off the c-file, similar to Kasparov's kb1 earlier. Sensible.
Very sensible. Safety first, especially with the position opening up.
18, White knight moves to a5, attacking the knight on b7. No, the bishop on b7. I'm sorry, the bishop is on b7.
Forces Black's hand.
18.
Black bishop moves back to a8.
Wow, tucking the bishop all the way back there. Defensive.
Has to protect c6, shows the pressure White is exerting.
19, White bishop moves to h3, increasing the pressure on e6 and d5.
Kasparov is building up slowly, methodically, but Topalov isn't waiting.
No, it's not. 19. Black pawn moves to d5. Bang! The center just explodes.
That's the move Topalov was aiming for. He's achieved the central break. The position is now wide open, tactically incredibly complex.
You'd think Kasparov might be worried, but...
Well, this is where Kasparov's genius kicks in. He sees through the chaos. He understands that while the center is open, Black's king might actually be the more vulnerable one in the long run. He's looking many moves ahead.
Okay, so how does he react immediately? 20. White queen delivers check on f4. Qf4 check.
Forcing the king to move, gaining a tempo. 20. Black king moves to a7.
Sidestepping the check. Now what? 21. White rook moves to e1. Centralizing another piece.
Putting the rook on the newly opened d-file, eyeing e5 and e6. Subtle but strong. 21. Black pawn moves to d4.
Pushing the pawn further, attacking the knight on c3.
And reinforcing the d5 pawn. Also note that black knight on f6 is doing a massive defensive job right now, protecting key squares around the king.
Okay, so that knight is critical for Black's defense.
Absolutely critical, and Kasparov knows it. We're at the absolute tipping point here. The strategic maneuvering is done. It's time for tactics.
All right, let's slow down, because this next sequence, this is what makes the game immortal. Move 22. Kasparov plays.
White knight sacrifices itself on d5. Knight takes d5. And d5.
Wow, just gives up the knight.
Yes, to eliminate that crucial f6 knight. Oh, that moves to d5 first, but the goal is removal. He's tearing away a key defender of the Black king. Material means nothing right now. It's all about the attack.
Topalov has to take it, right? 22. Black knight captures on d5.
He does. And xd5. Seems like a simple recapture.
23. White pawn captures on d5. xd5, opening the e-file further. Pawn now on d5.
Right now, Black needs to defend against threats along the e-file and potential checks. 23. Black queen moves to d6.
Consolidating, defending the pawn on d5, maybe trying to trade queens.
Trying to hold everything together. From Topalov's perspective, maybe it looks like he's weathered the initial storm. He's up a piece for a pawn.
But Kasparov isn't done. Not even close. Move 24. This is the big one. White rook captures on d4. Rxd4.
The sacrifice. A full rook.
Yeah.
Just gives it away.
For what? He gets nothing immediate back for it.
Nothing material, no. He gets open lines, tempo, and the initiation of a forced sequence against the Black king. He calculated that Topalov's king has no escape. It's pure, breathtaking calculation.
Topalov thinks for a while here, surely. What does he do? He takes it. 24. Black pawn captures the rook on d4, cxd4.
He takes the bait. This is the decisive mistake, cxd4. But you can understand it.
Why take it then, if it's so bad?
Topalov said later he thought he had calculated a perpetual check, a way to force a draw by endlessly checking the white king. He missed Kasparov's incredibly deep follow-up. The safer move was actually 24. Bishop takes d5, bx d5. Computer analysis shows that likely leads to a draw.
But Topalov, being Topalov, went for the win, took the rook.
And walked right into Kasparov's web.
Rook delivers check on e7.
Brutal. This rook is absolute poison. Look what happens if Black takes it.
If 25. Queen captures e7.
Then 26. White queen checks on d4, qd4 check. The king has to move, say, chi5. Then white plays bishop to c4 check, king b6, knight c6 check, king a5. Leads to mate very quickly. Kasparov saw all of this.
Incredible. So Black cannot take the rook, the king must run.
Exactly. Topalov has to flee. 25. Black king moves to b6.
Stepping out. 26. White queen delivers check on d4, qd4 check, another check, forcing the king further out.
Driving the king forward. 26. Black king captures the knight on a5.
Look at that. The Black king is on a5. It's captured a piece, but it's so far from safety. It's like it's taking a walk in enemy territory.
It's an absolutely bizarre sight. World Championship game, and the king is leading the charge into the opponent's camp. Unbelievable exposure.
And Kasparov keeps pushing. 27. White pawn delivers check on b4, b4 check.
Even the pawns are joining the hunt. Chasing the king further up the board. Where can it possibly go?
Nowhere safe. 27. Black king moves to a4.
Deeper and deeper into the white position. This is surreal.
28. White queen moves to c3. qc3. Not a check, but threatening mate on b3, or a check on a1 maybe.
It cuts off escape squares and prepares further checks. Black needs to grab material to compensate or try to defend. 28. Black queen captures on d5. qxd5. Black gets a pawn back, trying to fight back. It's the only way. He has to try and create counter threats. Note that if he played 28, bishop takes d5 instead. White has 29. King moves to b2, kb2 with unstoppable mate threats. So grabbing with the queen was forced.
Okay, so Black is hanging on by a thread. Now comes Kasparov's move. 29. White rook moves to a7, raise 7.
Oh, this is just beautiful. Sublime. It's not a check. It's not an immediate capture. It's a quiet positional killer.
What makes it so deadly?
It completely seals the A file. The Black king, currently on A4, now has absolutely no way back to the safety of the 8th rank. It's permanently trapped on the top half of the board. Topalov apparently missed the full impact of this silent move in his calculations. It's pure geometry.
Wow, a quiet move in the middle of all this tactical chaos. So the king is trapped. What does black do?
Tries to block.
29.
Black bishop moves to B7. BD7. Interposing.
But white just takes it. 30. White rook captures on B7. RX B7.
Material's getting closer, but the king's situation is dire. 30. Black queen moves to C4. QC4.
The only move. Trying to block the C-file, maybe offer a queen trade.
It's the only real defensive try, yes. But Kasparov ignores it. He's got bigger fish to fry. 31. White queen captures on S6. QXF6. Grabbing another piece.
Okay, white is winning material back now. Black's king is still out in the cold. What's Topalov's response? 31. Black king captures the pawn on A3. Case A3.
Greedy. And probably the final mistake. Taking that pawn just lures the king even further away. There was maybe a last tricky chance with 31. Rook to D1 check, RD1 plus A, but taking the pawn seals his fate.
The king is now on A3. Kasparov continues the hunt. 32. White queen delivers check on A6. QX6 check.
Driving the king toward the center now. 32. Black king captures the pawn on B4.
Takes B4. Keeps taking pawns. King now on B4.
Kasparov sets another brilliant trap. 33. White pawn delivers check on C3.
C3 check. A pawn check. Giving up a pawn.
Yes. Another positional sacrifice. It forces the black king onto the C3 square, dragging it right into the center of the board where it will be fatally exposed. Just beautiful coordination.
Amazing. 33. Black king captures the pawn on C3. Keck C3. Forced.
Now the king is on C3. Over to attack from all sides. 34. White queen delivers check on A1. Key 1 check.
Hitting the king from behind. Where does it go? 34. Black king moves to D2. KD2.
If the king went back to B4, white had 35. Queen to B2 check, QB2 plus roar, which skewers the king and queen, winning the queen immediately, so KD2 is forced.
The king is being herded like livestock. 35. White queen delivers check on B2. QB2 check.
Another check. 35. Black king moves to D1. KD1.
The king is now on D1. It's traveled from C8 all the way down to D1. Incredible journey.
And now, the culmination. The move that Kasparov must have foreseen way back when he sacrificed the rook. The final, quiet, devastating blow. 36. White bishop moves to F1.
Bishop to F1. Moving back to the first rank. What does that do?
It's absolutely crushing. It looks so passive, but it's the final nail. It does two things. It defends the E2 square, cutting off the king's last escape route, and it prepares a deadly discovered attack or checkmate. It controls C4 and threatens ideas like QC2 plus, followed by RD1 check, and the silence of the move is what makes it so stunning.
So if black takes the bishop, 36.
QXF.
Then 37. QC2 check, king E1, 38. RD1 check leads to mate. It's completely over. The coordination of white's pieces is perfect.
Unbelievable. So Topalov sees the writing on the wall. What does he play? 36. Black rook moves to D2. RG2. A desperate block.
Trying to shield the king, maybe create some counterplay. But Kasparov has one last tactical shot.
And it's another sacrifice. 37. White rook moves to D7. 47. His second rook sacrifice. Absolutely cold-blooded. He sacrifices the exchange to eliminate the last defender.
Topalov has no choice. 37. Black rook captures on D7. RxC7.
Forced. 38. White bishop captures the queen on C4. BXC4.
There goes the queen. 38. Black pawn captures the bishop on C4. BXC4.
Black gets the bishop back. 39. White queen captures the rook on H8. QXH8.
Kasparov scoops up the rook. How's the material count now?
It's actually about equal. But material is completely irrelevant here. Black's king is totally lost, stranded on D1.
The rest is just cleanup, though.
Pretty much. The technique to win from here is straightforward for a player like Kasparov. Let's see the final moves. 39. Black rook moves to D3.
40. White queen moves to A8. Q8, cutting off the king.
Black pawn moves to C3. A desperate pawn push.
41. White queen delivers check on A4. Q4 check.
41. Black king moves to E1. Key 1. Hiding in the corner.
42. White pawn moves to F4, pushing the pawn.
42. Black pawn moves to F5. Blocking.
43. White king moves to C1. KC1, bringing the king up to help.
43. Black rook moves to D2. RD2. Still trying.
Why resign now?
The white queen stops the black c-pawn. The black king is trapped on the back rank. White will simply bring his king up, push his pawns, and black can do nothing to stop mate or massive material loss. It's completely hopeless.
Wow, what a game. 44 moves of just relentless pressure and calculation.
And sacrifice. Let's not forget the sacrifices.
We talked about 44 moves, all the checks, the captures, the fireworks, but remember, move 36. Bishop back to F1. So quiet. So deadly. It sealed the deal after all the noise. Makes you think, doesn't it? What's the quiet, overlooked, maybe even backward-looking move in whatever challenge you're facing right now? The one that doesn't look flashy but sets up the inevitable win, something for you to mull over.